All right, so I did put a bunch of little containers like this near the slip containers. So if you want to portion yourself some slip, feel free to. Note that you need to wash those containers thoroughly, not just put them in the bleach soak. You need to wash them and then put them in the bleach soak. All right, so this is the first time that you guys are building with all things that are much stiffer. So everything has to be scored and slipped thoroughly. Now I have one of these nifty tools, serrated rib. So my serrated rib will help me out a lot in doing scoring very quickly. They do sell these at the craft center gallery, and you can buy them. You can also choose to use a fork, or you can simply use your needle tool. If you use your needle tool, you will need to make sure that you do multiple slash marks back and forth. I do not have my needle tool here, but more than just a few. This is absolutely held together by your scoring and slipping. If you do not do a good job scoring and slipping, the piece may not seem to fall apart immediately, but trust me, it will after bisque firing, or it will crack on the seams. So not only do I score it, I slip it, then I usually will re-score it as well. All right. I don't usually prep every single one. Some people might seem to think like, oh, I'll just score and slip every single side. Don't do that. It ends up being very messy. I'll do it to one of them just to get myself started, but the next one I'm only going to score where I'm putting that first slab. So I am really making sure these are nice and scored and slipped well. All right, so depending on how well I bevel edge cut, these should go together at a nice 90 degrees. So again, in the same way I demonstrated before about how the score marks are going to lock the piece together, okay? Make sure it's nice and locked. Now, every single time I put one edge together, I'm going to use a teeny tiny reinforced coil. Notice that I'm not going to even use the full amount of this coil. I'm blending it as I go. So I really used a very little amount. If you are relying on that coil to hold your piece together, you're doing something wrong. It should just be helping assist in it, and as well as kind of cleaning that connection. So I'll score and slip this side. Get a new piece. Figure out what sides I need to score and slip. So when I get to the edges, let me get this on here. I'm gonna make sure that these edges are pressed together well. And then I'm gonna do my reinforced coil on the base and on the side. So, craftsmanship in building this form, really important. Can I see that interior coil? Does it look sloppy? You know, those are little things you're going to want to pay attention to, not only for the fact that it's going to help it stay together, but you want that to look nice and clean. So I am going to keep going. There will be, of course, one slab that I cannot reinforce coil right now, right? Because I'm going to close it. Once I cut the lid, I will then be able to reinforce coil that one area that I couldn't get to. So, assembly is the next part. Any questions? Score and slip reinforced coil. Make sure everything's really tight. And then I'm going to show you refining techniques in the next step and how to cut the lid. Ideally, I'll be doing that this class. It is tough to, once the slabs get to the point where they're like really hard, it just doesn't put together very nicely. So my goal is to be at least to assemble the box and cut the lid today. I definitely will not be doing any kind of decorative carving at this point. Okay.